Richard.
And I'm Judy, the athlete, and we're here to help you better your best.
The topic for today, Judy, is the athletes of today, and I just think it's an interesting topic because they're different to me anyway. And I think maybe we've had these discussions before, which is a good thing. And I kind of wonder if we were probably very different to our coaches when they grew up, and you just did it this way, But I think it's important to recognize it because it changes how I relate to them. It changes how I coach to them because they're different, and you have to meet halfway, or however
Sure.
you want to say it, right? And so that they can grow and succeed like we did, So anyway, we've had conversations about it, and we kind of mapped out, what are all the differences and what's important and what isn't. And I mean, they've grown up different, probably largely because of the cell phone, and
Lots of technology.
lots
in
of
general,
technology.
right? Well, it just sport in general is so much more a science.
Correct.
It used to be you took your bat and ball and you went to somebody's yard. You didn't even have a field, and you played. And now, there's just a lot of organization. There's training. There's lifting. There, all the different things that come as part of performance now.
A lot of doing things.
Yes.
Correct. And it's all good, I mean, it can contribute, but at the same time, if we really look at the people today who are at the very top, what are those characteristics? What are those people at the top? And I mean, we kind of listed some out that I think.
Well, we listed some out, but a lot of how we got there was kind of thinking about how we've built our program, Better Your Best,
True.
and what we consider the key elements that we wanted to address within that. And then we compared it sort of back and forth with a generation of
Yes.
athletes, and then also within that generation, that group that's clearly separating itself to the top.
The adventure
Right.
sport athletes.
Right. So we looked at one of our elements was adventure mindset, like that it's an adventure, one of
They're high risk.
high risk.
They put their life on the line to accomplish something that they want to perform. So it doesn't get much higher than that.
But you see that in our top athletes in whatever sport, they take big risks.
True.
And all sports are different as to how big a risk you can take, but you certainly see that our top athletes now, regardless of everything that's influencing them in the world, which there are a lot of external influences, if you look at the top athletes, they have that. They're willing to risk it to get it.
Right. They don't need the guarantee. They don't need if I put in this many hours, I'm going to get to this level. If I put in this many hours, they have one goal in mind.
And I think that the stuff we're talking here has been across many generations.
I think
That top group, right? It didn't really matter what was happening on TV or social media or this or that or the other. Those top athletes have that ability. One of the ones that I know you and I talked about is they're often not liked and they don't care. And I can relate to that. I didn't even really think about what people thought of me. I didn't care. I didn't know they were thinking of me. I just went out there to win a tournament. And
It's true.
we see that now. I know the ones out there. Some of them are lucky enough to still be liked, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of them, they don't care. They don't recognize that they are or they aren't. And I think that's important. The other one you said was they don't need a guarantee.
Right.
They're willing to risk it all for something they may not get.
You're right.
You look at
Yeah.
playing to be in the LPGA or the PGA, there's only so many people that make it.
Correct. We've talked many times about they're unique and different. And it is that component in and of itself that allows them to excel to the levels they get to. Because if they were liked and needed to be liked, however you want to say it, they would be, quote, more normal and not the ends of the bell curve, the people who are excelling at very high paces. So they're authentic, that's one of our important characteristics, and they're fine with who they are.
And they're active as opposed to
Correct.
passive. They're forward focused. They're looking for the next. If they're not doing well in this tournament, they're already focused on the next. And I think
Even when
that
they are doing well in this tournament.
I think that has traveled through time, though, if you look
Yeah.
at the elite of the elite. And so sometimes I feel like, and I'm sure our athletes feel like, oh my gosh, we're getting a bad rap because of this generation we live in. In fact, and what I really love is our conversations of it's a fact. This is where they're at. How do we help them where they're at?
Right.
And that kind of led us to the fact that, well, the elite of the elite are really still the same, doing the same things that they've done over time.
Right.
They're victors. They're not victims. They don't have to be comfortable.
Right.
And that's
a
what we
huge
talk
one.
about all the time.
It's that need to be comfortable, because I just see such high levels of anxiety among the kids, and it's not healthy. It's sad, and it's not easy for them, and I'm not sure why. But that need to be comfortable, I'm sorry, we could just scrap that one. Confident, yes. Comfortable, no.
Well, and I think in an attempt, in the world, something we see out there, in an attempt to take care of their comfort, which our generation has tried to make our kids very comfortable, right?
True.
In an attempt to do that, we've gone overboard with, let's focus on process. Because process then takes you out of feel, to some extent, right?
Doing, yeah,
Doing.
instead of feeling, yeah, and outcomes and all of some of those things. But will to win, I'm telling you, the people at the top, they got the will to win, and they're all in, right? Talk about that. Forward focus, only one direction you can go. So critical. They're respectful. They have a high level of respect, I'd say, self and others.
And their sport.
Correct.
In and of itself. Their facilities, their sport, their coaches, there is a high level of, I don't know, whether it's just understanding of this is everything that makes them a victor.
Correct. Yeah. They're courageous, and that one piece, just having that image or creating it, if you don't have it, is so important for today, because there's so much stuff out there for them, and that can interfere as much as it help. You know what I mean? And
External world.
yeah, the external world is really overwhelming these days, and overthinking, and over this and over that, overwhelmed, and all those things.
And how much time is devoted to not having the external world control what you're doing? Like that time to just sit and be and think through your own solutions and figure things out yourself, and not depend on the world to give it to you. That's very passive. And that's why I said these top people are very active. They're looking for the solution. They're a part of the solution. They are bought into the solution, and it's timeless.
I know. I'm so excited when somebody will call or share an experience where they were out in that competition and I just did this. I just figured out to do this, and it's like, that is worth gold. You did it. You figured it out, as much as we might talk through problem solving with them.
Sure.
Man, they did it, and then they own it, and then it's so powerful for them. And all of those are key aspects of the elites.
So if I were going to summarize what I don't know, we've been talking about for quite a while, I think what I would summarize is that throughout time, the elite of the elite, those that are really at the top, are focused on bettering their best.
You got that right.